Hey guys, it's your boy Gas back with another video. Sorry if I'm making quite a few videos in quick succession. Seems when I get bored I make videos or whatever when I'm stressed or whatever, I don't know. Anyway, I've got to get on top of my paperwork and be proactive with that and stop procrastinating. But anyway, please wish me well, as I say with that one. Don't really believe in luck, but if it does exist I probably need some. But anyway, thought I'd make a video about being Anglo-Indian. I hope I don't represent my fellow Anglo-Indians too badly, but I haven't, as ever, I haven't really planned this video that well. I've thought a bit about it, but I haven't really planned it as well as I perhaps should have done. So please forgive me for that one. Yeah, I'm an Anglo-Indian. As I class myself as Anglo-Indian, so I've done a bit of reading, which is unlike me. I don't really read much, but I sort of read online a bit about from Google or whatever about what Anglo-Indian means. And traditionally or historically, Anglo-Indian meant people of British descent who lived in India during the days of the Raj or the Empire. And now it's often used to mean mixed race people like myself. I was actually born and bred in the UK, here in the UK, but and I've only been to India a couple of times on holiday, vacation, or whatever you want to call it. But yeah, sorry. Yeah, so I think according to the Indian Constitution, an Anglo-Indian is someone who was born in India. But I class Anglo-Indian as anyone who's got one parent who's white or European and one who's Indian. And I suppose we're similar to Anglo-Pakistanis or Anglo-Sri Lankans. I think they're called Burger or something. I can't remember, but I think you can find a lot of this information now, to be honest, on Wikipedia, although I know it's not always accurate. But anyway, I'm thinking of making a few videos perhaps about being Anglo-Indian or being mixed race and stuff like that, so I hope people look out for them and enjoy them. Yeah, so I read a few things on Wikipedia about famous Anglo-Indians. I think it's quite an interesting, fairly lengthy list. I think a lot of Anglo-Indians wrote articles about how although we're quite a relatively small community, we've achieved quite a bit in terms of sports or things like that. But I was speaking to a fellow Anglo-Indian in Australia, a lot older than myself, very wise and all that, much wiser than myself certainly, which is not saying a lot, but he is quite, it seems to be switched on. But anyway, he was saying, we were talking about how there's lots of successful Indian entrepreneurs, but there doesn't seem to be many Anglo-Indian entrepreneurs. And I was asking, why do you think that is? And he was saying, he asked me, have you ever been to India? I said, yeah. But he says, have you ever seen the Anglo-Indian community in India? And I said, no. He said, if you go to India, you should go to the Anglo-Indian community and see what they're like. And he says, Anglo-Indians are a bit sort of, if you like, laid back, or they want to bless the business rather than actually, but Indians are really hardworking and driven. So I think that's one of the differences between Anglo-Indians and Indians. There are a few Anglo-Indian business people like that, but most of the, but not as successful as Indians. But I think in sports we have made some contributions historically to things like hockey, possibly in cricket and things like that. I think at one point there was like the captain of both the Australian and the Indian team both were Anglo-Indians. I think that was in hockey, but I'm sure in cricket as well we probably many people just wouldn't know that they're Anglo-Indian. But I think and even probably in areas like music or things like, I'm sure there's lots of Anglo-Indians who have done really well in those areas. I'd love to hear if anyone knows anything about Anglo-Indians or wants to share information, please post it below. And also if you heard of any famous Anglo-Indians or you'd like to, or you're interested in the community, whether you're Anglo-Indian or not, it'd be great to sort of share some archives or history or information about Anglo-Indians. There are different, like a lot, not sure if it's Wikipedia or something else I read, and I think there's one of the first Anglo-Indian sort of representatives in Parliament in India, and they also give us like our own seats in Parliament and things like in India. So I'd like to thank India for that, but and for things that people do for us, and I think we should be grateful for that. And so I think India's doing quite a lot for Anglo-Indians as far as I'm aware, but it's not perfect. But Frank Anthony was saying, no, sorry, I don't think it was Frank Anthony. I think it was in the records that when the British invaded India, they wanted to divide the country, and one of the ways they wanted to divide the country was to make to create Anglo-Indians. So we're sort of an experiment, or to see so like, because we speak differently, like we spoke English before Indians learned, because people probably assume that Indians always learn English, but always have learned English, but obviously before they spoke English they spoke other languages. So, and Anglo-Indians were probably amongst the first to speak English, and also our religion was a bit different and things like that, like Protestant or Catholic or things like that, rather than the majority, which is obviously Hindu. Yeah, so we were said to be a bit different to Indians, and I think we were made to divide India. I call it making a positive from a negative. I think we should probably do the opposite and try to unite India, because I think that was a negative reason. But that is the general reason why a lot of people say, like like Portuguese did in Brazil and also in Goa, where they procreated with the local people, so that apparently they would keep them always as a minority, so they could run over them more, rather than, well, not necessarily as a minority, but they wouldn't be able to revolt as easily, because the indigenous people wouldn't be such a large number, I think, if I'm not mistaken. But I mean, my friend who I was talking about, who I met in Australia, I won't say his name in case he doesn't want me to mention his name. He may or may not care, but I might share this video with him, and if he gives me permission, I'll share his name in the future. But and he has his own channel. I can give him a shout out and talk about his projects. But anyway, he was saying that it was rowdy soldiers, like British soldiers. Obviously, they were abroad. They didn't have many women other than Indian to procreate with, so, or whatever you call it. So that's why they had Anglo-Indians. But a lot of the theory is to divide the country. So I'd love to hear what you think about that theory, or which theory do you think is more likely to be true, or if you have any insight info, or if you have any information about that history. Obviously, we're not eyewitnesses, so it'd be very, but we can probably hear from stories that were passed down. As someone says, history is his story, so it's people's recollections. So we probably hear, just like the news, you'll probably hear different. We see it as just fact, but there are probably a lot of stories that are told in between, if you know what I mean. But yeah, so that's the two theories about why Anglo-Indians were made. They were either made because of rowdy soldiers who needed, obviously, who wanted partners, and there weren't many British women, so they had Indian women, or it was made as a policy to actually, and I think it's often said actually that the soldiers were actually paid money to actually having Anglo-Indian children, because again, it divided the country and made it easier to rule, divide and conquer and all that sort of stuff that a lot of people are talking about. So I think Asian nations should unite more, because obviously if divide and conquer goes against you, I think you should probably want to do the opposite to what people want to do. Anyway, that's my opinion. But yeah, I'd love to know what you think about this video about Anglo-Indians as well, and any information you get, or would you be interested to find out more about Anglo-Indians, and what maybe next video again, or in the future sometime, hopefully I'll do a bit of research. But you can always just look on Google or Wikipedia or anything like that. So if you want to share any links or information that you might know, if you're Anglo-Indian yourself or you're interested and you do a bit of research and you find some information and you want to share it below, I really welcome it. Probably waffling now, but yeah, so this video is about me being an Anglo-Indian, as I say, not artificial intelligence, AI. Yeah, and what, probably, not sure if I should ask this, but what do you think of the Anglo-Indian community as well? Or do you know anything about it? Or do you think that we made some positive contributions, or whatever? So, as ever, I'd love to hear your opinions. As I often say, I hope they'll be polite, but keep saying free speech, so freedom of expression, all that. So, anyway, I hope I'm a positive representative of the Anglo-Indians. I'm probably not the best role model or mentor or anything like that, but hopefully some Anglo-Indians out there would be great mentors for other younger Anglo-Indians, teach them and things like that. And I'm hoping to share this video with my fellow Anglo-Indians on Facebook and other communities. Well, Facebook, probably just Facebook. But anyway, sorry for waffling. I think I'm going to end this video here. Peace out.